Hello, everybody. This is Eric Schultz, the host of The Danger Zone. We've decided to take our show on the road outside the studio, and that is because we have probably our biggest guest we have ever had, and that is the coach of the football team here at Wake Forest. That is Coach Dave Clawson. Coach, thank you for allowing us to come and do this interview with you.
Well, thanks. I'm honored that you came to my office and you consider me the biggest guest. So,
First of all, let's recap a little bit of the previous season. What was it like to go to the Military Bowl with Wake Forest? Because you had previously with Bowling Green, but what was it like to take this team to DC Annapolis? And what was the experience like winning the game, but also exploring the city?
it was really a magical week for our program. That we have so many players that have worked so hard and put so much into it, and it was year 3, and to finally break through that barrier and become bowl eligible. And bowls are really special trips. You go up almost, it's really, you're a football family, and you go up and you're all in the same hotel, and you're getting a tour of the Capitol, and you're doing so many activities together outside of football. And because the finals are over and school's not in session, you have all day with them. So it's a lot more than just playing a football game. It's an educational trip and a lot of good social time, and really a chance to get to know the players better outside of just football.
And speaking about year 3, really what athletics is called the awakening in the sense of the rebuilding of the athletics. Describe what it's like as a coach to see such a commitment from whether it be alumni, whether it be parents, players, and other people in the development of athletics with McCreary Fieldhouse opening, and now later day you're going to the groundbreaking for the Sutton Performance Center, and then also with basketball, with the Shaw Basketball Center. What's it like to see such a great development over just the last few years with athletics?
Well, I think it's a very special time to be part of Wake Forest athletics. The sports here are having really probably some of the best success they've had in probably the last decade. And soccer getting to the national championship game, and baseball is having a heck of a season, and Danny Manny taking the basketball team to the NCAA tournament. And even now, our tennis program is number 1 in the country. The women's program is ranked. Both golf programs are ranked. And I don't think it's an accident that this success is happening as we're building facilities. Facilities is very important in the training of our football team. Facilities is very important, in the recruiting of student athletes. And I don't think it's an accident that the year we got the McCreary Fieldhouse is the year we went back to a bowl.
For sure. So, looking at this year's recruiting class, it once again has continued to improve. What do you expect from the recruits this year coming in? What would you like to teach them, or the biggest thing you'd like to teach them? And then, what's something that you want a lot of the upperclassmen to help instill in them as they continue to develop the program?
Well, I think any good program or any good organization kind of has establishes a culture of how they do things, and the word is overused, but we want the recruiting class to continue to help us build what we've been building, and hopefully be able to take us to the next step or another level or whatever term you want to use. We're happy with the season we had a year ago in terms of making progress, but we don't want the ultimate goal here to be to win 7 games and just get to a bowl. We'd like to compete for ACC championships. We'd like to have double-digit wins. And so I think one of the things in our program is that we want to keep building. We want to keep making it better, and we want to keep improving. And we don't want to fall back at all. And we have a lot of good players back, but we also lost some good football players. So there'll be some opportunities for these recruits to play early.
Looking at last year, you talked about a lot of great players. Who was your biggest surprise, or who really came out and put up numbers that you may not have necessarily expected, but you knew they had the talent?
Well, I think Markel Lee had just a monster year for us. Markel has been a good player, and he was a 3-year starter. But just the way that he played week in and week out, and he just at times tackled everything. And he was first team all-conference ACC. I thought Josh Banks had his best season ever as a tackle for us. Certainly Duke Ejiofor has become an elite pass rusher. And, we knew Jesse Bates would be a good player. I don't know if anybody expected him to be that good his first year playing. And then on offense, I just think the maturation of our offensive line and the development of the running back position. Cade Carney and Matt Colburn really became a good 1-2 punch for us. And those guys are young guys, so they should continue to get better and better.
So what do you expect from the running back position? Because you talked about Cade and you talked about Matt. And from the first scrimmage and also from the spring game, it looks like coming in Christian Beal looks like he's going to be something special too. What do you think about Christian, and how do you think he'll fit in with the mix next year?
I think Christian had a really good first semester here. He learned things very fast, picked things up quickly, and he's got some talent now. He can make people miss. A little bit of a change of pace from what Cade and Matt are. Christian's a little smaller, but he gives us a different pace, and if we can keep Arkeem Byrd healthy, I think Arkeem could also give us that. So one thing I've learned coaching, you can never have enough good running backs, and that's always a position that seems to get nicked and bruised, and so we can't have enough of them. But I think the position is probably as deep and as talented since we've been here.
So, what was your initial reaction to seeing the 2017 schedule? It's filled with a lot of great competition, a lot of great road games, and a lot of great home games too. What were your initial thoughts looking at your opponents?
Well, it's tough. It's a tough schedule. Certainly, in the non-conference schedule, we open up with Presbyterian, and when you play those FBS games, they're always scary. Certainly in an opener with a new head coach, and then you're playing an app team that won 10, 11 games. Notre Dame on the road is always a challenging game, and Utah State beat us pretty good 2 years ago up at their place. And then the conference is the conference. Certainly going from Virginia at home to Georgia Tech on the road is you're taking a team that was in their first year with a new head coach at home to a team that won 9 games on the road that runs a very difficult offense. So I think the schedule's more challenging. I think our football team will be improved, but we better be with that schedule.
For sure. So, which opponent would you say are you most excited to face this year? Whether it be you want to avenge a loss from last year, whether it be you want to capitalize on dominance from a team you beat last year, or whether it be a team that you haven't faced in a couple of years.
Well, it's always the next game, but certainly, I think our players always get excited to play the in-state games, and whether that's Duke, the years we played Carolina, NC State, this year App State. Those are, anytime you play a game in the North Carolina borders, our guys get a little bit more fired up for that one.
Facing Clemson last year, did you believe after that game that they would be national champions?
Well, I don't know if I knew they'd be national champs. I certainly knew they were capable of it. They were really good on defense again, and then just between Deshaun Watson and their firepower on offense, there's no other team that we played that had that level of skill that went that deep. We play a lot of teams in our league that have great skill. Their entire 2 deep is made up of guys that'll probably play on Sundays. And, whether it was Williams or Tavius Scott, the 2 tailbacks they had, a quarterback that was one of the best players in the country and might be the first pick in the whole NFL draft. Their ability to make explosive plays, you just never, ever can relax when you play those guys.
So, what was your reaction from the spring game? What were some thoughts that you took away? It was a bit of an interesting format, but what is something that you think that the team's going to really have to work on this summer from what you saw in the spring game?
Well, the takeaway always from the spring game is we have to get better. I don't know if I've ever left a spring game feeling great, because I think it's just the nature of spring games. When your offense goes against your defense, any good play you make is it the result of a good play or of a breakdown. But I still think our players are getting comfortable with the new defensive system. I think on offense, we've got to work to become more balanced. I think last year we ran the ball well. Those numbers were very improved, but we got to throw the ball more consistently. And we just have a lot of work to do, but that's always the case in April.
All right, sounds good. Well, Coach Clawson, we thank you for letting us do this again. Make sure to catch all of the Wake Forest home games. The first one is August 31st against Presbyterian at BB&T Field. Tickets, I just got the email, started to be on sale today, so make sure you check it out. Thank you for watching, and have a great weekend.
Go Deacs.